I'm Ashley. I decided because it was finally getting nice here to come outside and do this live. As you guys know, I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to start doing these lives and maybe like once a week, once every 2 weeks. I'm hoping once a week. On these lives, I just want to connect with you guys. I want to talk about esoteric topics, primarily to do with the higher self, to answer questions like what is a higher self? Why do I keep hearing about this out there in the ethers? Why are people becoming all spiritual and stuff? Any spiritual questions you may have. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm at the forefront or I'm at the foremost. Sorry, I'm just going to move this. It was like jabbing me in the face. All my plants haven't started growing yet, so they're coming in slowly, slowly. In Canada, we like literally have not had any nice days. But I want to help people understand what a higher self is. If you don't know what I do, I am someone who has the capability and the gift of speaking directly to, let's say, your consciousness, and I do that by taking a name. So, like, let's say, for example, your name is John Smith. Usually, our names are not that generic. Our names actually hold a frequency that's unique to ourselves. It's very uncommon for people to have the same name, same middle name and last name. And that unique frequency allows me to tap into your personal frequency. Now, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. It doesn't matter. I've done people as far as New Zealand, Australia. Usually most of the people I've done are English speakers. So I don't know how it translates. If somebody speaks a different language, that's actually a really curious thought. But with that frequency, I sit with the name. So let's say if it was John Smith, I'd have my paper, my trusty paper, and I would scribe. I would start to hear a conversation from your consciousness. So I could stick to the consciousness that is specific to you in this dimension, right? The 3D. This is what we call the 3D. You're everyday, every day. But realistically, that helps you understand like that I can tap into you, and that basically like I'm on the same level as you and I'm trying to relate to you. So I use that style of consciousness when it's more to do with, let's say, a therapy session. You're going through some things in the physical world, right? But the higher self part of it is when I start to go higher in your own frequency, your own resonance, your individual resonance, and I start to tap into higher conversation, right? So, why people get confused all the time about what a higher self is, I'm just going to make it as easy as possible. Let's look at it this way. Do you ever come out of a relationship, a bad job, a bad situation with family, and you say to yourself, well, I knew that. I should have listened to myself, right? I should have listened to myself. And most of us don't even take that moment. Hi, how's it going? To even say to ourselves, who is this other self? Who is this myself that I keep referring to? Right? We keep saying, oh, I should have listened. How did that myself, how did that me version, how did that version of hello, hello, say hi? How does that me know what I should have done? How does that version of me know what I should have not walked into? It's like as if this version of myself, this inner knowing, this inner knowledge, right, has this like understanding of like future situations, has this understanding of like what might come forward in my life, even though I'm standing here. When you get these red flags with people, or when you see these scenarios and something chimes in you and says, hey, I don't know, I'm talking about the higher self and how we identify it in our everyday lives, because some of us overlook it, some of us don't tap in or pay attention. And I was talking about the different ways I channel higher self beings, like as individuals. So I'm giving life examples of like how we do this, and then we just push it to the wayside. And if we were to challenge it, how would that shape our lives? How would that change our lives? So that's basically what I was talking about today. So this version of ourself, this higher self, right, somehow knows the future projection, somehow knows that what you're about to step into is not right for you. And that's why sometimes you'll hear this thing, I don't know, this person doesn't seem right. And yet, when we're in these relationships, when we're in these jobs, we still do it. And the reason why we do it is based on 3D ego reasoning, right? I want the money. I want the job. I want the acclaim. I want to have this relationship. I don't want to be lonely. All these things that we hear, right? That's the ego talking. The ego ensures that we push the higher self out of the way. That's basically how the ego and the higher self work all the time in our lives. Okay. We don't realize that this conversation is happening within us every day. We don't realize that every step we're taking is being analyzed by our higher self. Like, if you think about it, it's you. I know this is going to be messed up to say, but like, let's say you're the smaller you and there's like a bigger avatar you that's watching you progress in this world, watching you progress in your life. And it tells you about the snags and it tells you about the trip ups that are coming your way. And yet, what happens is that in hindsight, we go, oh my God, why didn't I listen to myself? And yet, we'll make the mistake over and over and over again until we learn, right? And it's funny enough that a lot of us have to learn, and sometimes we learn quick, sometimes we learn medium style. Sometimes we take forever. Sometimes we never learn in our lifetime. Sometimes we may pass to the next side and go, oh shit, I should have been listening all along, right? But that's basically what I'm talking about today, because I will be doing a channeling. I will probably just like try to tap into the community, and I'll do my best and see what messages come up, because again, when I'm doing this individually, it's different. I'm tapping into one specific consciousness, your consciousness, right? And I use the names to do this, but like I said, I'm trying to challenge my capabilities. I'm trying to challenge what I do. So when I do these lives, I'm just trying to see like who steps in, what I pick up on, what comes through. This message could be for somebody in the future. It could be somebody right now. It could be for someone in the distant moments of time. I don't know. That's the beauty about spirit. That's the beauty about messages. We don't know. Time seems linear, but it's all happening concurrently. Don't ask me how to explain that. I've tried to explain that to myself so many times, because like I said, how does the higher self know what we're about to walk into if it doesn't know a future projection? How does your inner self know your, like they say it's higher, but really it's inside you, right? Your inner knowing, your inner self, your soul knows what you're about to step into, and that's a future projection, but really it's because maybe all time is concurrently happening. So it's like, as you take that step forward into that timeline, then basically what's happening is you're taking a step towards that reality. So that's the thing. It's like, it doesn't mean we're making mistakes. That's not what it is. The higher self is never here to tell us what to do. If you ever hear some type of comeback within yourself that's like telling you what to do, that's definitely not a higher self. That's an ego based evaluation of yourself. Sometimes when we hear negative thought forms, like what I mean by negative thought forms is negative self talk, that's coming from like a lower ended emotion. You know what I'm saying? It's not coming from a place of like higher evaluation. It's not coming from a place that's inner or closer to our soul. So don't ever think that if you're being told something like a direct like response, like do this, the higher self doesn't work like that. You don't work like that. You know why? Because there's common laws, universal laws that we still have to like fall into. God and anything, if you want to call it creator or source, ensures that we always have freedom of will. Cannot be taken away. So the fact that if you hear something direct saying, "Oh, you should do this," then that's not in universal law, first and foremost. So it would never, higher self or your inner self or your soul would never tell you what to do, ever. It might suggest, it may prelude to like what may take place, but it's always your decision. So please know that if you are someone who's internally hearing direction, please rethink that. I'm hoping no one is, but I'm just letting you guys know that whenever you do chime into that inner self that said, oh, maybe this isn't the best course of action, and you only figure it out in hindsight, right? And go, oh, I should have listened to myself. If you can remember and remind yourself as to how this energy spoke to you, how your inner self spoke to you, how your soul was speaking to you, it's always about ambiguity, in the sense that you get to choose always what your direction is. You get to choose always what you're going to decide on, right? You can't just be told what to do and react. That is not free will. That is against the laws. So I just want you guys to know that that is a big discriminatory difference between the levels of conversation that we have internally. And if you're someone who's just like, what is this woman talking about? Please know that I'm talking about very matter of fact things. If you're going to say to me that you don't have internal dialogue with yourself any part of the day or any time, that's, yeah, fighting spiritual warfare is a real thing. Like that, people keep using this term and saying that it's not something that is like in a term that can be described, but realistically, it is. It's something that we face. It can be an external sense, like meaning like there's persons that deliberately keep trying to hold you back, or it can just be in an energetic sense, like meaning like you try to perform things or you try to go forward with things and you find yourselves in dream time being lethargic. You find yourselves not being able to perform in the magnitude that you wish you could. And it's not to say that you're just physically feeling this just in this dimensional sense. You are actually holding space and weight for many dimensional versions of self within this space. So if you are being held back, let's say in the 3D sense, know that your soul is also interacting in other versions of self. And that those versions of self can also be in what we would call warfare of a kind. Not just spirits, like it can mean like they're physically in a warfare, just like we're about to be somewhat in a warfare. And we see it everywhere we go. Yes, free will is a thing. It is the ultimate thing. I mean, not for nothing, there are, let's say, negative beings or thought forms out there that do try to, perform loopholes around that free will, because it's like realistically that's the one law that can't be messed with. But yeah, just like law here, there's lawyers every day that are trying to run around the law and figure out wording and trying to figure out methods to abscond from actually following the law. So there are negative thought forms. There are, let's say, beings that hold, let's say, more night or negative energy that keep trying to mess with those laws, and they will keep pushing because obviously they stand to make or find more benefit in going against those laws for their more smaller, meager advances, which is really sad. I mean, realistically, some of us beings that were born and that came here, we understand the laws quite well within our soul. Then there's people that try to find small and meager power wherever they can, including those thought forms that come and try to give us self-talk all the time that's negative. Do you think the negative self-talk only comes from yourself? No. The positive self-talk we get is coming from one fashion of self, and so is the negative. And you can choose what you listen to. You can choose if you believe what you listen to. If you choose to say, no, you know what, I want to have a good day. I like what this is. I like my positive thought forms that are bubbling around my mind, and I want to pay attention to that. That's your choice. Or you could go to negative Nelly land, and that's your choice too. There's never something stopping you because that's what it is. So I just hope people understand that most and everything is our choice. We have the power at all points in time. We can choose to scroll on our phone endlessly for 5 hours, or we cannot and decide to pick up a book. We can choose to have a good day at work and take things personally or not personally. It's all about our perceptions as well. So the higher self is looking at this from a higher standpoint in the sense of like an overview, let's say, an overviewing like an eagle's eye point of view. But they are also not going, and it is you, okay? Only you know you this well. They know what you're going to do, they know how you're going to react. 9 times out of 10, we kind of know our own behaviors internally. Like, that if you, let's say you're somebody who sees chocolate cake and you love chocolate cake, but you're on a diet, right? You're going to try your best to deny it, but you know that you're probably going to eat the cake. And that's the thing. It's like your higher self is you, just a higher version, but it's actually found. I know it's going to sound crazy, guys. Most of you are going to be like, what is this lady talking about? It's inside. though they use the word higher, it's confusing. I get it. It's like, imagine spatially higher in the sense of like how it can overview your, like, like if you're playing a video game and you can watch the avatar from a spatial sense. But realistically, the higher self is the you, the truest you, the most awesome you, unfettered. Yes, 100% completely. Thank you, Sunflower667. Somebody gets it out here. And that's the whole point of this. It's like, I don't know who I'm going to touch. I don't know who I'm going to affect. I don't know who's going to resonate with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's out there for me. And I don't question it anymore. It's like, you either get it or don't, or you like me or you don't. And we're not all here to like each other. We're not all here to like, I mean, hopefully we're at a level of understanding where we try to support each other in whatever we try to do, be it good or bad, or, it's just acceptance all around. But thank you. I appreciate the love, because I think that's all we can really do in this time, is try to love one another as best as we can for whatever we're doing. And realistically, that's what I do. I channel higher selves. I use people's names and I channel them. So, what I've been doing in these lives is more so talking about the higher self, answering questions if you have any. Oh, yes. Yes. High five to Yeshua. Sorry, Jesus. Yes. That energy, that Christ consciousness, I think most every dimensional being falls in the, I mean, they all aspire to Christ consciousness. You know what I mean? I think that's like another element of those laws. I think because love is the one law. I mean, in sense, because people don't realize love is really hard. People think love is all light, and it's like, no, there are aspects of love that, love is all encompassing. Like, I don't know how to explain this, so like, if you could look at love as like a circle, right? Love has hate, jealousy, has envy, all these negative energies within it as well, because you can only hate someone if you love them. You know what I'm saying? You can only envy someone if there's something that they have that you love. You have to encompass both the dark and the light within love. So to understand Christ consciousness is something very profound. I mean, most any dimensional being of any kind strives for that unity consciousness, strives to get to that level of understanding love. You know what I mean? And I mean, in the form we're in right now, oh my gosh, it's hard enough as it is. Like, Yeshua came down in full form and full, human, and came in to show us how to do it in a human form, even feeling all the emotions and the human ties, which is really hard. But I also feel like he was given kind of like a briefing. Not to say that some starseed souls that come incarnated aren't somewhat illuminated to this before the fact, like they don't need to be taught so many things throughout their lifetime. But at the same time, I do think Jesus kind of had like maybe just a little more help, just a little more, so that he was always embodying this love resonance throughout his whole lifetime. And I think that's what a lot of us beings are striving for to unfold. And I think that's also why I'm so pressed upon trying to help people get in touch with their higher self, because their higher self is that more unfettered, truer self, closer to their soul's essence. And when you're closer to that essence and you're more true in your nature, then you have a tendency to love easier and to feel that embrace easier. So it's not like I'm trying to do this, just to do it for the sake of doing it. I want more souls to turn on. I want more souls to be aware of that part of themselves. And realistically, I mean, for most of my clients, and the time I've been doing this for several years now, I gave up my career in the past to do this type of work. Most people come to me for about a year or two, and then it's like once they feel that connection and they understand that connection and they've tested the connection, like they'll come to me for readings, and then they'll be like, oh, I knew that already. And then it's like they start to believe and have confidence in that connection. And as they do that, then they themselves like bloom. You know what I mean? Like, I have so many clients of mine that I feel I can honestly raise my hand up and say, not I, but the gift that was given to me by Creator sparked their soul's opening. You know what I mean? Or it got them on, and now they are leaders, and now they are way showers in their own right. So it's like some part of me feels very blessed and honored to have this gift to, to show and share with people. And realistically, that's what the whole point of my profession is. That's the whole point of what I think any of us, because all of us have gifts. Like, I'm not the only one. I just maybe took the time to work through all of the chakra systems and do the work, the shadow work. And if you have questions about the shadow work or what that is, please feel free on any of these lives to ask what that is, because that is fundamental. Yeah, fundamental, because when we understand the darker parts of ourselves, period, those are the parts of ourselves that we hide. We use those masks every day to hide with. And when we use masks to hide, we're getting farther away from our truest self. Like, imagine if you could go out there, and that's probably why a lot of people drink. Please understand, or do vices, right? They do vices, they do drink so that they can have excuses, or let's say excuse tickets to be closer and closer to themselves, even though they're a little sloppy, even though they might not be as well versed on a vice. But that's really what it is. It's that these vices allow us to feel that we are unfettered, to be more of ourselves. And shadow work actually helps us understand how to break down those things, because I will say, in my lifetime, I'm not perfect. Everybody has their issues, everybody had their problems. I was somebody all through most of my 20s and 30s struggled with many vice problems. But what I can say is, once I started doing the work, once I connected with my higher self, once I started really looking at what was the hole inside my soul I was trying to fill, because that's what all vices are. Okay, I started realizing, oh, these are wounds that I had from my childhood. These are wounds that I had from friends, bad friendships, toxic relationships. And the work is not easy. But what I will say is that if you do, it's just like going to the gym. No one likes going to the gym, right? You don't want to work out, it's hard. But the body that you come out with when you go to the gym is one you're proud of. The body that you come out with is one that you think is very attractive. And it's the same thing when you deal with vices. If you start to challenge those parts of yourself that are the reason why you did the vices in the first place, or are continuing to do them continually, or you never stop doing, it's like, once you figure out what those are and you start breaking them one by one, and trust me, this is challenging work. It does not happen overnight. It took me, let's see, to break down most of my vice issues took me several years. I would say majority of it was happening during COVID, because I found that I was like not with people as you imagine, right? And I started saying, okay, without all these like outside sources or these issues that I may have, I had the time to really sit with myself and say, why do I drink? Why do I go out and drink as much as I do? What is it about drinking that I find so, rewarding? Like, what was I getting out of it? And really and truly, as time went on and I started doing more work, I realized it was because it allowed me to be more of myself. It gave me permission to be more of myself, to dance, to feel free to do what I wanted to do. But really and truly, it wasn't the drinking, it's just the placebo effect. People think that drinking is the answer, but really it's just a placebo. It's basically like you allowing yourself to take the mask off and do what you want to do. But imagine doing shadow work so that you could live like that all the time. There's a huge difference in that. Living authentically all the time is something that, if you aspire to over the course of years, it's very rewarding, because it's like you feel at ease, you don't feel anxiety. That's number one. I used to have anxiety all the time. I don't feel anxiety anymore. So I just wanted to talk about that. Maybe I'll do a just an episode where we just talk about shadow and problems and things like that, because trust me, I know a lot about that stuff. I've been through many walks of life in this lifetime. I have probably gone through things that most people haven't gone through. And a lot of people always tell me, oh, I don't look like my problems. And that's fine. I'm cool with that. Because a lot of us that have these issues, we had such horrific issues happen to us so that we could sympathize with people, we could empathize with people, we could understand what it's like to walk in someone's shoes because we've been in those shoes, or we've been in something worse, or we've been in levels that of understanding that people may not get. Okay, so as promised, I said I was going to do a channeling for the community. So these messages are going to be for people that watch it today, people that watch it in the future, people that watch it down the road years from now. You know, it's all about connection, it's all about community. Okay, so I'm just gonna tap in. I like to pray to my angels first. I give shout outs to Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel, Michael, Radiel, Jophiel, Samuel, Shamuel, Metatron, Adiel, Castiel, Sariel, Leah, Tobias, Sandalphon, Metatron, Hazriel, and to all the other angels that I have not mentioned right now, please ask that this connection is guarded and protected at this time. To all my Sophiatic sisters, Queen Isis, Kali Ma, Kuan Yin, Green and White Tars, may you also secure this. All my higher selves, please show me the connections to the other higher selves of this community. If there are any messages from my brothers and sisters, please bring it forward. And to Yeshua, Miriam, and Mary, for your patience, love, and understanding, I ask that you bring this to this reading today, and to Mother, Father, God, because all things are created within your belief that I am that I am. Thank you. So let the messages come forth. That is for the community. Okay, great. So that's what I do. I usually have a singing bowl also, and or some chimes, etc. I didn't bring them today, but I do hear that there's my chimes in the front of the house that are clearing out the air, so that's good enough. My hands are getting hot, so that means that something's coming in the pipeline. All right, so what I do is I just start scribing. Okay, whatever comes through, like I said, I can't control what comes through. I don't know if it's for one individual person, if it's an energy, if it's something just for a lot of people. So let's work with this. What's the first message you have for today? Okay. Okay, the first thing I'm getting, and this could be to do with that Yeshua question that someone asked me, breaking bread, making bread. I don't know if somebody in this, okay, the feeling I'm getting is somebody makes bread for a living, and maybe they just opened up their own company. And they're asking questions if this is volatile or if this is something worthwhile. I feel like you have a partner. Could be your physical partner, or it could be like a business partner. And it's like as if you feel sad or sorry, or like the pressure you feel is more for them than because maybe they put in everything and they believed in you. More so maybe you're the baker and they're the business, or something to that effect. Getting the name Jamie. Jamie. And I feel like this is in the United States. Like it could be, I'm getting somewhere like, I got a couple names. I got Boston, Keswick, and Illinois somewhere. So this could be happening from multiple people at the same time. Maybe multiple. But the thing is, I don't think you have a big bakery. Ooh, cool. A spider just came to join the reading, everybody. Okay, there you go, my friends. Maybe that somebody's name was Spider, or maybe somebody has something to do with spiders. So back to this baker. I don't think you have a big, or maybe you have a cafe. Sorry, that was me just putting. Maybe you have a cafe. And it's something to do with cost. It's like the cost, like Okay, I'll tell you this much. The thing that I'm getting is that you're in the wrong location, or the location isn't good for you, because the people in this area do not value the bread. And it's not because you don't make valuable bread, it's because you're in an area that wouldn't pay for the costs. So then it's like you feel like you have to cut costs, but at the same time, it's like then the value of the product suffers. And basically, what I'm getting is that maybe it's the area or it's the place that you're at. I think it's more lucrative if you were to move out of this place. I have the feeling it's some place that's very comfortable to you. But if you actually want to do right by, let's say, this partner of yours, that basically, like, I feel like if you two were to make more of a move, I'm getting the word west. Maybe Westchester or west of the city you're in. I feel like that would do better, because it's not that you don't have skill or talent. It's more of like you're just in a bad place that doesn't support or believe in what you're making, or wouldn't pay for what you're making. It's like as if you're making caviar and you're around people who like craft dinner. That's the best way I could describe this. But if this message is for you, the most best interesting thing would be to move west, west of the city, out west of your country, out west to maybe the partner's location, something to that effect. And then I got the name Jarrell. Jarrell and Jamie. Those were the names that came out. I don't even know a Jarrell. That's an interesting name. Okay. Is there anything else for this? No. Okay. Moving on. Going to a person, either Samantha, Sam, Samantha. Getting married. And whoever you are, Sam or Samantha, who's getting married, you're a traditionalist. It's like I hear like 1950s music playing, but you're not from the 1950s. It's like as if you have an old soul. Like it's like something about this you want it to be vintage, but from the 50s, I'm gathering. So it could even be like lacy or music based at your event to do with the 50s. 50s hair, I'm seeing. What is the message for this person? I have a feeling it's a woman. Even though the name's Sam, I feel like it's Samantha. Okay. So your father is stepping forward at this time. This message is for a woman who's about to get married. I think with the name Samantha, that has a 1950s edge to her. Her father's passed, and she is being walked down by, I think it's like a grandfather or a family friend. And if she needs to hear this message, or hopefully this message finds you, your dad is with you. And it's funny because I feel like this 50s thing comes from this deceased father. That's the feeling I'm getting. Like maybe that's who inspired it in the first place. Maybe they were really into the 50s. But your dad, Leon, I'm getting Leon or Leonidas. Leon is with you. And then I heard you look beautiful. So this could be happening right now for someone. That's a really nice message. I get the feeling this father died of cancer, but in his younger years probably rode a motorcycle, or he aspired to or never got around to doing it. It's kind of somebody who is like showing me like their life got cut short a bit, maybe in their 50s. Yeah, I would say in their 50s, and it's like as if like if this person didn't ride a motorcycle, maybe they did when they were younger or they never got to, and it's like as if they felt like there were these like woes that never came through because of missed opportunities. And in a sense, it's like this father also felt like you would feel like this was a missed opportunity, but he's trying to come through with this message that I will be at your wedding. Okay, so then this hasn't happened yet for the Sams. Not yet, I heard. Okay. Not yet. And if any of these messages have anything to do with you, or you know someone who this relates to, please bring them forward, because that'd be really cool. I would like to know how these hit, or if they help you. That's really helpful too. The next thing I'm seeing is a guy with a telescope. Okay, let me see what this is. Guy with a telescope. Bright ideas I'm hearing. Not a recluse. So this is somebody who can handle people. Sorry, my dog is chiming up. I locked him inside because he'd be jumping all over me. This is somebody who has the capabilities of talking to people. Oh, okay, okay, okay. This is like somebody who hides their inner nerd. Even though it's popular now, that's weird. Inner nerd. And I don't even see it's because you're a jock. That's not even it. It's like maybe one of your parents was and they had a really bad, or like it was like maybe your dad or your mom was a nerd and they got bullied a lot, or you're scared of being bullied. But I feel like you're at an age like in your 20s where this shouldn't be a problem. But it's like you have a lot of anxiety to do with it, because I guess it's going back to what I was saying about the authentic self, because it conflicts with your life path, because it's like some part of you is like, oh, if I just let this out, then I would have those great ideas, and if I let those great ideas out, maybe that would give me my purpose in life. And it's like this person, whoever you are, it's a guy in his 20s, that I feel like doesn't let this inner nerd out, or this inner geek. And it's like when they are their more authentic self, it's like all these great ideas come through, and then it's like they suppress it and suppress it. It gives them anxiety, gives them gastrointestinal issues, and then it's like they go to work, they live their lives, but they're really really miserable inside. And it's like as if this message, and I'm hearing Thomas, Tommy, it's like, yes, you are correct, like this will free you if you were to actually go with these ideas. And I think it's not even, and it's weird because we're in an age where these things are accepted now, but it feels like for some reason, I don't know if this is like generational or like something your parents passed on to you, like, oh, coming out of your shell is going to get you beat up, or going to get you hurt, or going to get you like like let's say bullied. And I get the feeling like you don't have siblings, or if you do have siblings, it's like a younger sister, so there isn't really anyone to protect you from this other than yourself. And you're also in your 20s, so I don't think like you have anyone to really rely on should should something go. And I don't know if what you want to invent is like really risque, but for some reason this message is for someone who wants to be a freedom like thinker, wants to think outside the box, wants to be a dreamer. And like I said, Tommy or Thomas, um or it could be a variation to me. Tommy, I heard Tommy, Tom. um it's like if you've been wondering why, or if this is the right answer, that is the answer I'm getting, is that yes, you should pursue letting that inner nerd, or that inner geek, as you put it. I don't even know why that word, but I think that's your terminology, not my terminology. It's like something like you're giving your own derogatory information to yourself. And remember how I said about this negative self-talk? I think that's what I'm hearing. Or it's like you feel like this, or maybe it's like people don't act like this wherever you live. But I think that the innovation has to do with farming or something, or agriculture. So good luck. I hope you figure this out. I hope this message gets to you. Jerry. Okay, I heard this is for a multitude of people. Okay. Facts or fiction? Facts or fiction? Okay, so the suppression, I'm just going to say out what I'm hearing. Suppression of self is not found in either facts or fiction. It's found in conviction. So if somebody was like, or some people were worrying about like, where do they find their answers? It's more of like, what are you convinced of? Like, what is your conviction? What is strongest to you? Because it's like as if I heard it, this is for a multitude, but it's like people that are confused between facts and fiction, and it kind of stalls them. It kind of holds them up in their life. It's kind of like the answer for those of you that are in this progression. It's like, no, it's more of conviction. Like, what do you believe in? What do you think is true? What do you want to fight for in this lifetime? If you think so, even if it's one thing, 20 things, 5 things, it's like maybe just finding one, at least for the beginning, the conviction in your soul, the conviction of self. That's the answer to your question. If you've been wondering, like, oh, what do I follow? Do I follow the fiction, or do I follow the facts? What are these things? And maybe that it within itself is confusing. So I guess what the higher self of these persons is saying is that if you need any kind of understanding of what's better to follow, it's more of like, what are you convinced of? What's true to you? What makes sense to you? And basically what resonates with you, what sits with you well. Because a lot of people don't trust their own intuition most of the times. They don't understand that that's actually, again, their higher self themselves speaking to themselves. It's like if something seems off, go with that. If something seems like it makes sense, then stay with that. And that's how you can kind of quantify those things for yourself. It's like if you want to find out what's fact for you, like it wouldn't, like facts also, it's like you think that facts only have one version. Yes, I guess in some aspects, but there can be multiple things that can be considered facts. Like let's look at something like, for example, in English, the alphabet has 26 letters, right? But that's not a fact across all languages, let's just say. So that's not a universal fact. That's just a fact in regards to the language that we're considering, right? But realistically, there is no universal amount of letters for every language. So just in the case of English, but then it changes when it comes to Old English, or it changes when it comes to different versions of, let's say, if we're looking at acronyms, etc. So everything can kind of be morphed and molded if you really think about it. And that's where it's like you have to find what's truest to you, what you believe is makes sense. That's just a general idea. Please don't come at me for that example, but that was kind of like the best way I could describe what I'm saying. Um, okay, what's the next thing? The next thing I'm getting, because I feel like this has to do with a trucker. I'm seeing like a trucker, someone who's goes across country. Um, what is this about the trucker? I heard Dave Morrison. That's very specific. Or they like the sing. I think there's a singer named Dave Morrison, or maybe you're named after the singer. I don't know. Um, I have a feeling you do like pain pills or something to that effect for driving. Know that this is going to injure you severely. Like, I don't know if you've been doing it for years where you drive with pain pills and you've never had any injury or any type of precursor or something to that effect, or keeps you awake or something like that. And I don't know why I'm getting pain pills. It's like something that numbs you or dulls you out or allows you to go on like kind of, I get the feeling like I'm just going on neutral mode. um, it's like you've been doing this for like, let's say 7 years to a decade. Your time is up. Like it's like you're gonna have a rude awakening, and if you haven't had it already, or if you hear this before the fact, it's like, please take heed to this. And I get the names, NCS. I don't know if that's the name of the company you work for, National Carrier Service, something like that. NCS. Yeah, Dave Morrison or Morrison or David, something to that effect. Your time is up with these pills. Like there's something that's going to cataclysm, and I feel like it's gonna not just hurt you, it's gonna hurt many. So that's the message for you in regards to that. It's like, please, if you hear this, like, know that this is exactly for you. This isn't a coincidence. Stop those pills as soon as possible, because I feel like you're going to fall asleep or something is going to hit or you're going to hit somebody or something. Like, even though you've always had a handle on these for, like, let's say a decade, this is the time that this isn't going to hit properly. So there's that message. Okay, the next message I'm getting, I feel like this is for a single mom, but not because of choice. Maybe because you are a, what do you call it? A widow. You have a son and a daughter, and I'm seeing a son and a daughter. Okay, I don't want to be racist or anything like that, but it's just to give some context. So what I'm seeing is, like, let's say an African American woman with like not braids, it's like those corn rolls. And what I would say is that you're about 5'7" to 5'8". You're slender builds. You have a good position. Like, you could be someone who's in, like, let's say marketing, or you have a good stable position. I would say within, I'm seeing like an office building, not like a nurse or something to that effect. You have a son and a daughter. You have a home. But this is a woman who hasn't dated since their husband died. And the feeling I'm getting, like, I get the feeling like this guy died on the job. Like, maybe he was an officer, or he was in military, because it's like as if like you have a lot of pride for like how this person lived his life. Like, he was so um like somebody that was admired. He was somebody that like could have even been like a firefighter. So it's like you kind of feel like, you know how like the older European women, like they would wear black their entire time as being a widow in commemoration. In a sense, you're kind of doing the same thing. You're commemorating him and trying your best to like do this for him, because you think that's what he would want, because he was loyal, and he was all giving in his career and to the family. Because I feel like while he was alive, he was very structured. He brought, the kids loved him. I would say your kids, one seems like, I think the boy's like 13 roughly. Like, he looks like he's just about to go into high school or just got into high school. And the daughter's maybe like 10 or 11. Like, she's maybe grade 5, grade 6. This is for that single mom, if this hits you. And I'm sorry I gave the descriptions, because when I'm seeing the persons, like, I can only do is give what they look like. And I mean, you look like you're somebody who works out, because I would say like your tone, like I'm seeing like, slender arms, like your tone. You're not somebody who doesn't take care of themselves or go to the, and I wouldn't even say gym, I'd say more like Pilates, yoga, so you're lean. um it's like as if I'm getting a message from your past on loved one. He, like, it's like as if it's like you've passed up so many opportunities to be with other people, and it's like you've been wanting a sign to, like, is this a time to move on? Should I move on? I'm hearing Sandra, Sandy, Sandra. this is this is your message. It's like I'm seeing, like, if this does come by you, it's like as if you've been looking for a sign, like, should I move on, should I do something, but it's like it kills you inside because you feel like you have to pay homage, because this guy seems like he was amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm tapping into his energy too. It's like as if he was such a good father, he was such a good friend, he had great friends, he had great everything, that you would feel like you would be like cheapening your existence with him if you were to move on. But I feel like he's saying to you that he's sending someone just like him. And this is a beautiful message. I don't want to cry. Like, I honestly feel like this passed on person's literally like sending you somebody just like him. And it's funny because I feel like your son's gonna notice this first. It's like as if like he knows, it could be like a coach of his or something like that, that he remarks is like your father, and maybe it's his candidness, maybe it's his humor or something like that. And if this message is for you, and I hope it is, Sandra or Sandy, whoever you are, um it's like as if like this is the gateway to this next form of happiness, and know that your husband is totally adamant, and he's the one who sent this person your way, and your son will recognize it first. And this is just a beautiful message. So I hope that that finds who it needs to find. When with that said, I think that's where I'll leave off, because like I can already feel like I'm tearing up. But if I'm gonna disconnect from any of the messages for the collective that I wish to come through. We'll do this at a different time. I'm just gonna take a moment to reconnect. So, thank you for joining me in this live if you did. And I hope that these messages found whoever they're supposed to find. Like I said, I'm doing these channel messages. This is something new for me because I've never really done it. I just tend to like flow into different energies because I'm not dealing with the names, but I know that I tap into different feelings, emotions, etc. And I get different deliverables. So I really hope that this hits whoever it needs to. And these messages are very specific, but it feels like this is specific to, except for the one about the facts and the fiction. That one seems like it's a little farther. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a splendid day. If you don't already subscribe to me, like me, do what you can, help out the community, and who knows, as you add your energetic imprint, it also will help you in these readings, because who knows, it may help you be one of the persons that comes through. Bye for now. Have a good day.